Tesla just announced something that will completely change how we think about affordable electric cars. And it's not what you expect. In this video, I'll reveal Tesla's groundbreaking 3-battery strategy for the Model 2 that lets you choose exactly what you need. Whether that's maximum affordability at $15,990, lightning-fast 10-minute charging, or game-changing 500-plus mile range. By the end, you'll know exactly which battery option is perfect for your lifestyle and why this could be the most important EV launch of the decade. Welcome to Tesla Torch, where we break down the latest Tesla innovations and what they mean for your future. If you want to stay ahead of the EV revolution, hit that like button and subscribe for more insider analysis. For years, buying an electric vehicle has meant accepting compromise. You walk into a dealership or browse online, and you're faced with a binary choice. Pay $50,000 for premium range and performance, or settle for a budget EV that leaves you constantly worried about running out of charge. There's been no middle ground, no customization, no way to get exactly what you need without paying for features you don't want. But Elon Musk has just shattered this limitation with a strategy so bold, it's going to force every other automaker to completely rethink their approach. The Tesla Model 2 isn't just another affordable EV trying to undercut the competition on price. It's the first mass-market electric car that treats battery technology like a customizable option rather than a one-size-fits-all solution. Think about how we buy smartphones today. You don't just choose between iPhone and Android. You choose storage capacity, camera quality, screen size, and processing power based on how you actually use the device. Tesla is bringing this same philosophy to electric vehicles for the first time, and the implications are staggering. Instead of forcing everyone into the same battery chemistry, Tesla is offering 3 completely different technologies. Lithium Iron Phosphate for maximum affordability and longevity, aluminum ion for ultra-fast charging and urban convenience, and solid state for ultimate range and performance. Each one represents a different philosophy of what an electric vehicle should prioritize. This isn't just marketing hype or incremental improvement. We're talking about fundamental differences in how these batteries behave, charge, and integrate into different lifestyles. A retiree taking short trips to the grocery store has completely different needs than a busy professional charging in downtown Los Angeles, or a family planning cross-country road trips. For the first time ever, one vehicle platform can serve all 3 perfectly, without compromise. The genius of Tesla's approach lies in matching manufacturing strategy to market needs. They're not just building 3 different batteries, they're building them in different locations around the world, optimized for the regions and customers who will benefit most from each technology. This global production strategy ensures they can deliver the right technology at the right price point to the right markets. Let's dive deep into each option, starting with the one that's going to make electric vehicles accessible to more people than ever before. Lithium Iron Phosphate, or LFP, is Tesla's answer to anyone who's ever said electric vehicles are too expensive. At $15,990, the LFP Model 2 will be the most affordable Tesla ever made. But don't mistake affordability for corner cutting. This battery technology has been powering millions of Teslas in China for years, and the real-world data is remarkable. LFP chemistry is built around iron phosphate cathodes instead of the cobalt and nickel used in traditional lithium-ion batteries. This fundamental difference creates a battery that's incredibly stable, long-lasting, and cheap to manufacture. Iron and phosphate are abundant materials that don't require mining in politically unstable regions, which keeps costs predictable and supply chains secure. The longevity of LFP batteries is where they truly shine. These cells can handle 2,000 to 3,000 full charge-discharge cycles before showing significant degradation. To put that in perspective, if you drive 15,000 miles per year and get 300 miles of range per charge, you're doing about 50 charge cycles annually. At that rate, your LFP battery will maintain its performance for 40 to 60 years of typical driving. In practical terms, This translates to over 300,000 miles of driving before you'd need to think about battery replacement. Most people will never wear out an LFP battery. The rest of the car will need replacement long before the battery does. This eliminates one of the biggest concerns people have about electric vehicle ownership: the fear of expensive battery replacement. The safety profile of LFP is equally impressive. Traditional lithium-ion batteries use volatile liquid electrolytes that can catch fire if the battery is damaged, overcharged, or exposed to extreme temperatures. LFP chemistry is fundamentally more stable. The iron phosphate cathode is incredibly difficult to ignite, and even if somehow compromised, it doesn't release oxygen to fuel fires like other battery chemistries. This thermal stability means LFP batteries can operate safely in extreme conditions without complex cooling systems. They're virtually immune to thermal runaway, the chain reaction that can cause battery fires in other chemistries. For most drivers, this represents the ultimate peace of mind. Now, LFP does have lower energy density than some other battery types. At around 160 watt-hours per kilogram, it stores less energy per pound than high-performance batteries that can exceed 250 watt-hours per kilogram. This means your Model 2 with LFP will have a real-world range of 250 to 300 miles, and acceleration won't be as aggressive as a Model S Plaid. But here's the critical insight that Tesla's data scientists have uncovered. For the vast majority of drivers, 250 to 300 miles of range is more than sufficient. The average American drives about 40 miles per day. An LFP Model 2 gives you 6 to 7 days of typical driving on a single charge. Even if you're doing longer commutes or weekend trips, 250 to 300 miles covers roughly 95% of all driving scenarios, especially when you're charging at home every night. Consider a typical week for most drivers. Commute to work, trips to the grocery store, taking kids to school, maybe a dinner out on the weekend. All of these activities easily fit within a 300-mile range envelope. Thus, a few times per year when you need to drive further, vacation trips, visiting distant family, can be handled with a single charging stop that adds 200 plus miles in about 30 minutes. Tesla's manufacturing strategy for LFP Model 2s involves two key facilities: Giga Shanghai and the new Giga Mexico plant. Giga Shanghai already produces millions of LFP cells annually for the Chinese market, where these batteries have proven incredibly popular. The facility has refined LFP manufacturing to an art form, achieving cost efficiencies that seemed impossible just a few years ago. Giga Mexico represents Tesla's expansion of LFP production into North America. This massive facility is designed to produce up to 500,000 vehicles annually, with a significant portion dedicated to LFP Model 2s. By manufacturing in Mexico, Tesla can serve both North American and Latin American markets efficiently while taking advantage of lower labor costs and favorable trade agreements. The target markets for LFP Model 2s are regions where price sensitivity is high, but EV adoption is accelerating rapidly. This includes not just emerging markets like Mexico and Southeast Asia, but also price-conscious segments in developed countries. Retirees on fixed incomes, young professionals buying their first car, families looking for a reliable second vehicle. All of these groups benefit from LFP's combination of affordability and longevity. Tesla expects the LFP Model 2 to account for roughly 60% of total Model 2 production in the first few years, making it the volume leader of the lineup. The $15,990 starting price puts it in direct competition with gasoline cars like the Toyota Corolla or Honda Civic, but with dramatically lower operating costs and maintenance requirements. But what if your driving patterns are different? What if you live in a city where home charging isn't an option? Or if your lifestyle demands maximum convenience over maximum range? That's where Tesla's second battery option becomes incredibly compelling. Aluminum-ion battery technology sounds like something from a science fiction movie, but Tesla is making it reality through partnerships with cutting-edge companies like Graphene Manufacturing Group. The physics behind aluminum-ion batteries are fundamentally different from lithium-ion, and those differences create LFPs that seem almost magical compared to today's technology. In a traditional lithium-ion battery, lithium ions shuttle back and forth between positive and negative electrodes through a liquid electrolyte. The size and charge of lithium ions, combined with the viscosity of the liquid electrolyte, limits how quickly this process can happen. Even with advanced cooling and charging algorithms, you're looking at 30 to 45 minutes to add meaningful range to a conventional EV battery. Aluminum ions are different. They're smaller, more mobile, and carry a triple positive charge compared to lithium's single positive charge. This means each aluminum ion can store and transfer more energy per particle. When combined with advanced graphene electrodes that provide massive surface area for ion exchange, the charging process becomes dramatically faster. Laboratory testing suggests that aluminum ion cells can charge from 0 to full capacity in under 10 minutes. That's not 10 minutes to add 80% charge, that's 10 minutes to go from completely empty to completely full. This represents a 5-fold improvement over the fastest lithium-ion charging available today. The implications for daily driving are profound. Instead of planning your life around 45-minute charging sessions, you could treat charging like filling up a gas tank. Pull into a charging station, plug in, grab a coffee, use the restroom, and you're back on the road with a full battery. The psychological barrier of range anxiety disappears completely when charging becomes this convenient. Weight is another significant advantage of aluminum-ion technology. Aluminum is about 1.5 times less dense than lithium, which means the entire battery pack weighs significantly less for the same amount of energy storage. A lighter car means better efficiency, improved handling, and reduced wear on tires and brakes. Every pound of weight reduction in the battery translates to improved performance throughout the vehicle. These batteries also generate much less heat during charging and discharging compared to lithium-ion. Less heat means simpler cooling systems, which reduces weight, complexity, and cost even further. The cooling system in an aluminum-ion Model 2 could be 40% smaller and lighter than what's required for traditional batteries, creating a cascading effect of efficiency improvements. The energy density of current aluminum-ion prototypes is comparable to LFP at around 150 to 160 watt-hours per kilogram. This means you're looking at similar range, probably 250 to 280 miles in real-world conditions. But the charging experience is completely transformed. Imagine living in downtown Manhattan or San Francisco, where home charging isn't an option for most residents. With current EV technology, this creates a major barrier to adoption. You need to plan charging sessions around your schedule, find charging stations that aren't occupied or broken, and commit to 45+ minutes of waiting. It's manageable, but it's definitely less convenient than owning a gasoline car. With aluminum-ion charging, the equation changes completely. You could charge your car as casually as you charge your phone. Running low on battery? No problem. There's a charging station 2 blocks away, and you'll be full in less time than it takes to grab lunch. The urban EV experience becomes not just equivalent to gasoline cars, but actually superior in many ways. Tesla plans to price the aluminum-ion Model 2 between $19,990 and $21,990, reflecting the current higher cost of this advanced technology. Production is targeted to begin in late 2026, giving Tesla time to scale manufacturing and reduce costs. The production will likely be centered at Giga, Texas, keeping this advanced technology close to Tesla's American R&D operations and the sophisticated supply chain needed for graphene electrodes. The target market for aluminum-ion Model 2s is urban professionals in major metropolitan areas who value time over maximum range. These are people who live in apartments or condos without guaranteed parking, work irregular hours, and need their transportation to adapt to busy, unpredictable schedules. If you're the type of person who's always rushing between meetings, picking up kids from multiple activities, and trying to maximize every minute of your day, aluminum-ion is designed specifically for you. Tesla expects aluminum-ion to capture about 25% of Model 2 sales, concentrated in major metropolitan areas like New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, and San Francisco. The higher price point is offset by the convenience factor and the time savings from ultra-fast charging. But Tesla isn't stopping with fast-charging urban solutions. The third battery option represents what many engineers consider the holy grail of energy storage technology. Solid-state batteries represent a fundamental breakthrough that could eliminate every remaining limitation of electric vehicles. Instead of using liquid electrolytes like conventional batteries, solid-state cells use ceramic or polymer-based solid electrolytes. This seemingly simple change, replacing liquid with solid, unlocks dramatic improvements across every metric that matters for electric vehicles. The energy density potential of solid-state batteries is staggering. Current prototypes are achieving 400 to 500 watt-hours per kilogram, nearly double what's available in today's best lithium-ion batteries. In practical terms, this means a Model 2 with solid-state batteries could deliver over 500 miles of real-world range on a single charge. We're talking about driving from Los Angeles to San Francisco with range to spare, or crossing Texas with just one charging stop. But energy density is just the beginning. The safety improvements of solid-state technology are even more impressive. Liquid electrolytes in conventional batteries are inherently volatile. They can leak, they can catch fire, and they can explode under the wrong conditions. Every lithium-ion battery contains materials that are fundamentally dangerous, which is why electric vehicles need sophisticated battery management systems, thermal monitoring, and emergency disconnect systems. Solid-state batteries eliminate these risks entirely. The solid electrolyte is non-flammable, non-toxic, and chemically stable under virtually all conditions. You could puncture a solid-state battery with a nail, and it still wouldn't catch fire. You could expose it to extreme temperatures, overcharge it, or physically damage it, and the worst that would happen is that it stops working. There's no risk of fire, explosion, or toxic gas release. This safety profile opens up entirely new possibilities for vehicle design. Solid-state batteries could be integrated directly into the vehicle structure without the heavy protective enclosures required for liquid electrolyte cells. They could be placed in locations that would be impossible with conventional batteries, enabling new approaches. Ease to weight distribution and crash protection. Durability testing on solid-state prototypes is equally promising. These batteries retain 80% of their original capacity after 800-plus charge cycles, and the degradation curve is much more gradual than lithium-ion. The solid electrolyte doesn't break down over time like liquid electrolytes, which means the fundamental chemistry remains stable for decades. Combined with the inherent stability of the solid electrolyte, solid-state batteries could last the entire lifetime of the vehicle with minimal degradation. We're potentially looking at batteries that maintain 90% plus of their original capacity after 200,000 miles of driving. This level of longevity would make battery replacement a non-issue for most owners. The challenges with solid-state technology are significant, but they're engineering problems rather than fundamental physics problems. Current production costs run $200 to $300 per kilowatt-hour, compared to about $100 per kilowatt-hour for LFP and $120 per kilowatt-hour for conventional lithium-ion. The manufacturing process requires incredibly precise tolerances, specialized high-temperature processing equipment, and quality control systems that are expensive and difficult to scale. The solid electrolyte must be manufactured as a perfectly uniform thin film with no defects, pinholes, or irregularities. Any imperfection can create a pathway for electrical shorts or chemical degradation. The electrodes must be deposited with atomic-level precision, and the entire assembly must be done in ultra-clean environments that rival semiconductor fabrication facilities. Tesla is investing heavily in solid-state technology through partnerships with companies like Redwood Materials and internal R&D programs. They're building pilot production lines, testing different manufacturing approaches, and working to solve the fundamental scaling challenges. But realistic timelines put mass production of solid-state Model 2s at late 2027 or early 2028 at the earliest. The expected price for the solid-state Model 2 will be $24,000 to $26,000, positioning it as the premium option in the lineup. This price reflects not just the higher cost of the battery, but also the advanced manufacturing processes and limited production volumes in the early years. Initial production will focus on North American and European markets, where customers are willing to pay premium prices for cutting-edge technology and maximum capability. These are regions where long-distance driving is common, where cold weather can impact battery performance, and where early adopters are willing to pay for the latest innovations. The solid-state Model 2 will be the choice for people who refuse to compromise on any aspect of electric vehicle performance. Road trip enthusiasts who regularly drive 400+ miles in a day. Residents of cold climate states where battery performance matters in sub-zero temperatures. Technology enthusiasts who want the absolute latest and greatest, regardless of cost. Fleet customers who prioritize maximum uptime and minimum maintenance. Tesla expects solid state to represent about 15% of total Model 2 production initially, growing as costs decrease and manufacturing scales up. This will be the halo product that demonstrates what's possible with electric vehicle technology, while the LFP and aluminum-ion variants handle the volume business. So, how do you choose between these three radically different approaches to electric vehicle power? It comes down to honest self-assessment of your real driving needs, budget constraints, and lifestyle priorities. If you're a retiree on a fixed income, someone buying their first car, or anyone who prioritizes reliability and affordability above all else, the LFP Model 2 is almost certainly the right choice. The $15,990 starting price makes it accessible to more people than any Tesla in history. The 300,000+ mile battery life means you'll probably never need to think about battery replacement. The 250 to 300 mile range handles 95% of real-world driving scenarios without any compromise. Consider a typical retired couple who drives to the grocery store twice a week, visits grandchildren once a month, and takes a few longer trips per year. The LFP Model 2 gives them ultra-reliable transportation with minimal operating costs and the peace of mind that comes from proven technology. The money they save compared to other EVs could fund years of travel or other retirement activities. Urban professionals living in apartments, condos, or areas without reliable home charging should seriously consider the aluminum-ion version. The 10-minute charging capability eliminates range anxiety even without a dedicated parking space. You can treat charging like a quick errand rather than a major time commitment. The higher price of $19,990s to $21,990s is offset by the convenience factor and time savings. Think about a young professional working 60-hour weeks in downtown Chicago. They don't have a garage, parking is competitive, and their schedule is unpredictable. With aluminum-ion charging, they could top off their battery during a lunch break, after a gym session, or while running weekend errands. The flexibility transforms electric vehicle ownership from a constraint into an advantage. For long-distance travelers, people living in harsh climates, or anyone who just wants the absolute best technology available, the solid-state Model 2 will be worth waiting for. Yes, you'll pay $24,000 to $26,000. Yes, you'll have to wait until late 2027 or early 2028. But you'll get 500+ miles of range that works in any weather condition, ultimate safety that exceeds any current technology, and battery life that could outlast multiple generations of vehicles. Consider a family that takes annual road trips from Denver to Yellowstone, or a sales professional who regularly drives 300+ miles between client meetings. The solid-state Model 2 eliminates every compromise they might have to make with current EV technology. They get gasoline car convenience with electric car efficiency and environmental benefits. Tesla's global manufacturing strategy makes all of this possible while optimizing costs and supply chains for each technology. By producing LFP batteries in China and Mexico, they can leverage existing expertise and supply chains while serving the markets that benefit most from affordable, long-lasting technology. Manufacturing aluminum-ion batteries in Texas keeps this cutting-edge technology close to Tesla's R&D operations and the sophisticated supply chains needed for advanced materials like graphene. It also positions Tesla to serve the urban American markets that will drive early adoption of ultra-fast charging technology. solid-state production will initially be limited and focused on premium markets where customers are willing to pay for the latest technology. As manufacturing costs decrease and processes mature, solid-state could eventually become the standard for all electric vehicles. The impact on global EV adoption could be transformational. The $15,990 LFP Model 2 brings electric vehicles into price territory that directly competes with gasoline cars, not just on purchase price but on total cost of ownership. When you factor in lower fuel costs, reduced maintenance, and potential tax incentives, the LFP Model 2 could be cheaper to own than comparable gasoline vehicles from day one. The aluminum-ion version solves the charging infrastructure problem for urban areas. Instead of requiring massive build-outs of home charging or workplace charging, cities could focus on strategically placed ultra-fast charging hubs that serve multiple neighborhoods. The faster charging reduces the number of charging stations needed and improves utilization rates. Solid-state technology eliminates every remaining technical objection to electric vehicles. Range anxiety disappears with 500-plus mile capability. Safety concerns are eliminated with non-flammable batteries. Longevity questions are answered with 200,000-plus mile battery life. Cold weather performance becomes a non-issue with advanced chemistry that works in any climate. Other automakers are going to be forced to respond to Tesla's three-pronged approach. The era of one-size-fits-all EVs is ending, and companies that don't adapt risk being left behind. We're likely to see GM, Ford, Volkswagen, and others scrambling to develop their own battery choice programs. But Tesla has a significant head start in manufacturing expertise, supply chain relationships, and real-world deployment experience. Their ability to produce 3 different battery technologies at scale gives them a competitive moat that will be difficult for others to cross. This represents a fundamental shift in how we think about electric vehicles. Instead of choosing between different car models based on size or style, you're choosing between different technologies that fundamentally change how the car behaves and integrates into your life. It's like choosing between a sports car, a luxury sedan, and an economy car, except they all share the same platform and basic design. The Model 2 could become the most important EV launch of the decade precisely because it eliminates the compromises that have kept many people from switching to electric. Whether why prioritize cost, convenience, or capability, there's a Model 2 designed specifically for your needs and budget. Looking ahead, this 3-battery approach could become the template for the entire automotive industry. Instead of building different car models for different market segments, manufacturers could build one flexible platform with different powertrain options optimized for specific use cases. The future of driving isn't just electric, it's customizable, accessible, and designed around real human needs rather than one-size-fits-all engineering compromises. Tesla is giving us the first preview of that future, and it starts at just $15,990. The question now isn't whether electric vehicles will replace gasoline cars, but how quickly the transition will happen once people realize they can get exactly the EV they want at a price they can afford. With 3 distinct battery options, Tesla is removing the last barriers to mass EV adoption. Which battery technology appeals most to you? Are you willing to wait for cutting-edge solid-state technology? Does the urban convenience of aluminum ion solve your charging challenges? Or does the proven reliability and affordability of LFP make the most sense for your situation? Let me know in the comments below. I'm genuinely curious which option resonates with different types of drivers. And if you want to stay ahead of the latest Tesla innovations and EV developments, make sure to subscribe to Tesla Torch and hit that notification bell. We're covering every major development in the electric vehicle revolution, from battery breakthroughs to manufacturing innovations to policy changes that affect EV adoption. The next few years are going to be incredible for electric vehicle technology, and you won't want to miss any of it.